It's a gay romance disguised as a military recruitment tool. Or maybe it's the other way around. Jamie?
Yes.
Grace?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go watch Top Gun.
Everybody, and welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. I am Jamie Lorello. I am one of the podcasters here with you as you listen along. The other person, people, he's multiple personality, maybe?
That's right. I have many names.
There is the DP, Doug Paul McCambridge.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm here.
We are here every week, well, every bi-weekly. Talking about some great movies that take place specifically in the 80s, in that decade. Mm-hmm. And tonight, we hit on a pretty prominent one of them. Can I say that?
It's a huge movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jamie, did you forget that we have somebody else on this
Skype call with us? Not at all. Not at all.
I was ready to be halfway through. We'll be like, and Goose died. Oh, also, there's someone else here with us.
I'm getting to her. She deserves a grand entrance.
Okay, all right.
Jeez. It's like suspense, you know? Here with us tonight is not Doug's alter ego. Mm-mm. Better than that. We have a guest. I guess that we all go back, wow. Not quite to the 80s, y'all, but we go back. I don't want to say how many years. I've said that to Doug. I was like, I don't label the years. Okay, let's tell you who she is.
I was going to say, you're avoiding saying her name. You're going out of your way not to say
I feel like she's like sweaty palms, like just waiting to burst. And I'm like, and she's a really nice person, and she's so fun, and... Let's take some guesses. No, I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding. We are here tonight with Miss Grace DeMarco.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting.
We're so happy you're here.
I am so pleased, and let it be known that Grace is joining us from her beach vacation. Is that okay, or does your work not know? Like, are you playing hooky from work?
Oh no, they totally know.
Okay.
They know that you're doing this because
they know both. Okay. Trust me, they know, because when I do listen to the podcast and I'm at work and I have my headphones in and I just start busting out laughing and they're looking at me like an insane person.
They're doing that because they've listened and they're like, that's not funny.
How is she laughing at that?
But no, thank you for coming on. And I know that as, let's say, a super fan of ours,
I am.
Nice. I think we were waiting for the perfect movie to bring you in on, and this is the perfect movie.
Well, this was your choice, correct, Grace?
Yes, this movie holds a lot of... It was like the first movie that I remember in my childhood that was like a blockbuster, and to this day, I judge everybody whether or not they were born before or after Top Gun came out.
Wow.
Because I feel like if you weren't born before May 1986, like, you're just too young. You are too young and you know nothing because you don't know the 80s movies, and I just can't relate to you.
Okay.
I do have to say that we missed the 30-year mark of this movie. We really should have done it a month ago, but that's totally on me.
I don't think you should feel badly about that.
No, I don't feel badly about it.
No mark missed is what I say, because we have a Miss DeMarco here. So no mark missed. Yes. There you go. There you have it. I'm so excited to talk to you about the movie because you love it so much. That is really kind of... I'm jazzed about that. And can I confess to you? I have never seen this movie.
What?
Oh my God, Jamie, you can't.
Jamie, what?
Okay, I mean, I know I knew of it, you know, and I knew it was about airplanes and Tom Cruise, and I think it had been on in the background because I know, like, my older brother had watched it. I realized by doing this podcast that there's a lot of 80s movies that I either didn't have the attention span for, like I didn't pay attention to if they were on, or that I just flaked out on in the 80s. I don't know what I was doing. I was running around playing in the dirt. I don't know. But
I feel the same way with a lot of our movies, but this is such a quintessential 80s movie. And this is not a guy's movie. This is not a girl's movie. This is like that stereotypical date movie where it's like, oh, we got something for the guys and we got something for the ladies.
This is a cultural icon of a movie.
It really is.
I think I've disgusted Grace. I was a little afraid of this.
I'm pretty sure Grace is going to hang off in about 5 minutes.
It's not anything I openly confessed. Even when I tuned into it here and I was watching my husband, he was so pumped to he loves when he likes the movies that we're doing because he wants to watch them again. And I was like, all right, I got to take good notes. I've never seen this. And I thought he was going to throw me out the window. He was like, what? How did you never even tell me this? I was like, I didn't know I had to disclose it. But, so yeah, but, I'm ready to take the flight. I got my wings.
I think we need to go to the danger zone.
Can we just talk about the music in this movie? And the music is pretty good in this movie.
The music videos, you mean? The music videos?
Sure.
It is a phenomenal soundtrack.
It is really good. And we are treated to Danger Zone. Is that the name of the song?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. Right away. It's the opening credits.
And it's not the last time.
No. It's played maybe 2 or 3 more times in this movie. Sometimes just the music.
I do have trivia about the soundtrack that...
Please go ahead.
Boom, drop it.
You would not think that I would come to a podcast without Bryan Adams trivia.
Oh, no.
They wanted Bryan Adams' song, Only the Strong Survive, from his 1987 Into the Fire album.
Okay.
In the song instead of Danger Zone. He denied it. He said no because he felt the movie glorified war. A little too much.
Glorified war? Not...
Yeah, I don't think he understood the concept of the movie. Because, of course, this isn't before the movie actually came out.
What did they give him? Did they give him a script? Because if it said shirtless men every other scene, I think he'd realize, this doesn't glorify war at all. It just glorifies ripped dudes.
Ripped dudes. Flying planes. I don't know.
And pretending to shoot each other for 98% of this movie. But I do love that they went to him and he's like, nah, fuck you.
No, he stood up for, you know what, respect, I suppose. But he must have felt like a real dum-dum after the movie came out. Yeah.
Well, where it comes with soundtracks, I think Bryan Adams did pretty well for himself then in a couple of years, so I'm not even saying anything about that.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he could have used that Kenny Loggins money. I'm sure. That wouldn't have hurt. All right, so we during the credit sequence, we see a bunch of planes taking off and landing on an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
And then we're introduced to the principal from Back to the Future. Yeah, and he is freaking out because, we find out that Maverick and Goose are kind of like hotshot pilots. And
sure.
They're the best, but nobody likes them because they're arrogant.
Yeah.
And can we talk about how much people sweat in the first 20 minutes of this movie?
It's so warm where they are.
Movie. There is no air conditioning. They have giant fans everywhere.
The girl never sweats, though, right? The girl's never sweating.
No, once they get off the aircraft carrier and they're at Top Gun school, the sweating kind of stops. It's not as crazy as it is when he's yelling at them in,
they glisten
in his
a
office.
lot, and they're shiny.
Yes, there's a lot of glistening. And you're right, Grace. There's giant fans everywhere. You're like, aren't you guys cooled off at all? But they're not.
All of that equipment, I think they need air conditioning to keep it cool.
Yeah, you would think so. And you would think if you have an office in the, let's call it a basement, of an aircraft carrier, they would give you an air conditioner down there.
You would think.
But they don't.
No.
And so they're sweaty. But anyway, this dude named Cougar, the nicknames in this movie are crazy.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how they call the black guy's nickname is Sundown? I mean, they should just, were they going to call him Midnight? And they're like, oh, that may be too offensive. Let's not do that.
Let's get a little more poetic.
That's
call him
terrible.
Sundown.
And he's the only minority. I don't think women are invited to Top Gun, right? There are no women pilots in this.
No.
Women could not be fighter pilots.
Right. This was a different era.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But anyway, so Cougar is a pilot who freaks out.
Yes.
And Maverick turns his plane around. Everybody's low on fuel.
They're doing what are they doing exactly?
They're training.
Like a little training? Because it's like a floop-de-loop of the planes and a floppity-floop of... Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're in a training.
The technical term is floppity-floop, you're right.
They're going on a hop. Is it called a hop when they're in school?
There you go. Oh, yeah, like a dance? That's like a social thing, though. Like,
well, several times through the movie. No, they say, we're going to take a hop. Guys, you got a hop to take.
Oh.
So they're hopping.
Maverick heads back, and he kind of just talks Cougar down. Like, talks him down to landing, and everybody's on fumes. And I guess back to the Principal Strickland, let's call him, because that's his name in Back to the Future. He's really pissed that Maverick didn't just let Cougar die. Like, he seems really upset that he saved him.
Yeah.
Did anybody else get that?
Was he upset that he saved him, or didn't he pull that prank right beforehand? That kind of, because he left the wingman, and so he had to pull that, like, is that when he does the upside down?
Yes.
Thing? Yeah. Right? That's very sort of, I want to say titular because I overuse that word, but it's very important.
Is that called a Top Gun? I don't think that you're using that term correctly.
I'm not, but he flips the plane over the bogey plane, his plane, right? But he leaves. He's supposed to be kind of wingmanning, literally on the wings of Cougar, and he leaves him, right, to do this fancy flip move and kind of flip the bird. But this move is later studied, correct? Did I follow this correctly?
I don't want to say no because I don't know this movie.
He's the only one that has seen a MiG-28 up close, and that does come in later.
Yeah.
So, yes, I believe this is that part, and he's hot-shotting with this MiG.
Right.
And he left Cougar, and they're like, you know what, maybe if you were doing your job to begin with, Cougar wouldn't have gotten in trouble, you hotshot.
Right, yeah.
I
think that's why they're mad. Yeah.
Most of this movie is, Maverick, you arrogant son of a bitch. You're the best pilot I've ever seen. Pretty much that's how everybody treats him.
It's undertones of Back to the Future because it's like, your dad didn't amount to anything, and you're never going to amount to anything in this town, and that's it. He's the Marty McFly.
He's got such daddy issues in this movie.
He really does. He really, really does.
So Cougar, who freaked out, he turns in his wings, and the wings look like ones that like pilots would
like
give little kids.
Plasticky,
I love it.
But how dramatic he was.
Oh, very dramatic.
I got so scared. He got so scared.
He's got a wife and kids.
He's never seen them. How long?
He had to have seen them at some point. He can't have a kid and a wife without having seen them. That line didn't make sense to me that I've never seen.
I don't know.
There's
does
a
make
picture.
Sense.
Yeah, there's a picture that he looks at when he's having his like schwitz out, when he's having his heart attack on the plane and can't needs Maverick
Don't
to
be such
talk
a drama
him down.
queen, Cougar. You have a picture
So you're going to go
family.
home a jobless dropout. How are you going to support that family now, you loser?
I wish somebody would have said that to him. Like, they just let him walk
Maverick
away.
probably would have.
But they didn't know. He just kind of left, right? He just walked off, and then Maverick...
A lot about Cougar in this movie. We're really concentrating on this poor guy. But he quits, and that's a big deal because he was to be sent to Top Gun.
Right.
But because he can't go now... next up is Maverick and Goose.
This kind of bothers me, though. Because what about his second? What about Cougar's second?
Yeah, Cougar's second.
He just screwed out of Top Gun, and Maverick and Goose goes, how come it's not just Maverick and they leave Goose behind?
Goose seems like an idiot anyway. Like, he seems like... He's basically just Maverick's hype man. Like, that's it. That's all he is. And... maybe he does a good job at whatever the guy in the back is supposed to do.
But Merlin lost his shot because Cougar wimps out.
Wait,
Merlin.
Name was Merlin?
Yeah, and
Do you know
Merlin's
who Merlin is?
Yeah,
No.
Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins. You can't really see his face because he's always got his hat on or his little.
Yes.
But at the end, you can see him. There's like a weird shot where he's just kind of standing there, and it looks like he's like, "Hi, I'm Tim Robbins. I'm in this movie back here."
All right, okay, hold on, because I saw Tim Robbins' name in the credits.
Yeah.
And I kept waiting, but then eventually forgot. So, does Tim Robbins come in the end? Is he his backseat dude in the end?
He's not. He's in a separate aircraft in the end.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Look, in the end, I don't think they should have gotten guys that had just graduated Top Gun to go fight this mission in the first place. But you know,
that's
I'm not the government.
That's crazy.
I was confused too. They just kept saying the other side. They never really said who they were fighting.
Oh, they were Russians, right?
Maybe they weren't supposed to say, right?
Oh, they never
And I
say?
think there was a lot of political. They didn't want to throw a specific name out there.
Okay, I wondered if it was just because it was we shouldn't focus on that. Let's just focus on the action and the gayness.
Yes.
We don't have to worry about if it's Russia.
And I don't know if you guys knew, and we'll get to this, but there is a great line, and I looked online so much to find out what was going on here. There's a line near the very end when Principal Strickland, when Tom Cruise finally defeats the Soviets or whatever he does, and Principal Strickland's talking to him, but you see him from the back, and there's a line that is clearly just ADR dumped in, where it's and the other side, they denied the whole thing. And it's his voice, but it's recorded on a different day, probably months later.
Right.
And I really wanted to know if that was originally in the film, if they had to put it in later, or what.
There were a lot of reshoots in this movie after the fact, and there were a few points. Kelly McGillis had already moved on to another movie. She had dyed her hair, so in a few scenes, the love scene, they had to tint blue because her hair was darker. In the elevator with Maverick, her hair is pulled back and she has a baseball cap on because she had dyed her hair. There were reshoots after this thing that were ridiculous.
Oh, that blue light was. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, when she was dressed like a member of Public Enemy, I was like, why is she wearing this?
Yeah, her style is very off.
Very off. She looks like she's on the SWAT team suddenly. I was like, this is very bizarre.
She is a backup dancer for Janet Jackson on her Rhythm Nation tour. That's what she looks like.
So anyway, they finally get to Top Gun, and we're treated to Kenny Loggins again. It's right away.
Oh, wait, you missed one of the, awesome lines in the movie.
Oh, go ahead. No, please.
When he tells him, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash.
I
got so excited when he said that. I was
Did you just say you use that line all the time, Grace?
Yes, she did.
Yeah. I have no reference for it. I just throw it out there just for the heck of it.
Just yelling at the kids
just a good line.
from your car.
It is a great line. It's a fabulous
Beyond
line.
everything else, though, I have a serious question.
Yeah.
Why would Goose be bringing a camera on the plane with him to begin with? Just in case you get in touch with a MiG-28 and you want to flip upside down? Why?
You don't think they talked about this? Yeah.
I think
this is serious business. You're defending our nation, and you're just going to bring a Polaroid up there to dick around? I don't think so.
Well, and it is. That's true. It's a Polaroid of all things. It's where did you even kind of have room for that clunky thing, Maybe he's taking shots of his wanker, and then passes it up. I don't know. That's a great question.
Anyway,
I think it's very clear that the hero of this movie does not take any of this seriously. And,
not until after it's too late.
Well, not to spoil anything, but I assume he's the worst teacher that Top Gun will ever have.
He's like summer school. He's like Mark.
Yeah, he is. He's yep. That's absolutely right. Yep.
So they're at Top Gun,
where
we are introduced to a lot of guys who all kind of look the same.
Val Kilmer looks stunning in this movie.
He looks great in
Very
this movie.
handsome
Beautiful.
in this movie.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a shame that he doesn't get a little more, he seems kind of like a goody-goody, right?
What are you talking about?
Well,
in this movie or as a human being?
No, in this movie. Okay. He is supposedly the number one, right?
Yeah. I don't know if he's a goody-goody. He reminds me of...
Well, he's what do you call it? A personality, right?
He's the asshole frat guy that would be in a Animal House movie or something like that. An arrogant, cocky creep. But he does play by the rules, and he gets straight A's, He has
the natural ability nobody can compare to, and he takes advantage of that. And he's just
there you
go.
And he looks great, too. And Tom Cruise, at times in this movie, I looked at Tom Cruise and I was like, he looks like a baby. He looks like such a little boy. But, man, he looks the same now. It's crazy.
That's Scientology. It'll keep you young.
That's right. It's the fountain of youth.
I really think right off the bat with this movie, I looked at Iceman and Slider and I'm like, they're a couple. They're a gay couple.
Oh yeah, they did very much seem that way.
Those two above anybody else.
Well, who are the other two guys? When they're in there and Tom Skerritt's blah, blah, blah about air fights and shit like that, one dude talks about how all this information gives him a hard-on, and the other guy leans in and goes, "Don't tease me."
Oh yeah, that's right.
Slider says that.
Oh,
and
does it? Oh,
yes.
I didn't think it was Iceman. I thought it was two other guys.
No, that was Slider that said that, and
wow,
Iceman and
I mean, they're not hiding these gay references.
Well, Iceman is staring too because obviously Maverick is like not supposed to be there. Yeah, he's not like staring at him like an angry stare. It's like a lustful stare that he gives him when he's eyeing him up in the class. It's not like a hey competition. It's more like hey.
He gets so excited when Tom Cruise turns around and looks back at him. Oh man, this movie's insane.
He would dump Slider in a second from Maverick.
Yeah, he does. They get so excited at the end when they get to join forces.
I like how he says that the plaque for
the alternates is down in the ladies' room.
Yeah, down in the
ladies' room.
And later
we see a ladies' room, and I'm like, Kelly McGillis, I'm pretty sure is the only lady here. That is her personal bathroom.
True.
Because there are no women in this movie but her.
Maybe there's administrative secretaries,
maybe
assistants, lunch
we
ladies. I don't know.
They are not seen though.
I want to see a scene with the lunch lady
making a burger for Maverick. All right.
So they go to the bar. This movie is just filled with insane scene after insane scene. So they go to a bar where Goose again just he just sings Maverick's praises this entire movie, and it got really aggravating. Not to the point where I wanted him dead.
He gets you. He's dangerous all the time, and he risks your life all the time. But he's like the greatest guy ever. Did you see outside this club though? It says Animal Night. What does that even mean?
What?
Yes, there is a sign outside the club, and I zoomed in.
Animal Night.
It says Animal Night. So I'm looking. I'm like, are they wearing animal prints? Or people are there furries?
I would love it if there were just furries in the background.
What does that even mean, Animal Night? No,
what does that mean?
Translate this for me. And I saw no animals in the club.
No, that leaves a big old question mark.
It does.
Is that a theme that you would have in the Navy?
I'm assuming it's a night. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they're in the Air Force, right? Not the Navy.
Right.
Wait, or are they in the Navy?
It's both. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, because when they're dressed in white, like, that's Navy, right?
Yes.
And they're on a Navy ship when they're flying their planes around, aren't they?
A Navy ship?
Well, yeah, the aircraft carriers
it's an aircraft
are the
carrier,
Navy.
Sure.
Yeah. See?
I think they go hand in hand.
So what's the Air Force? I'm very confused.
The Air Force flies the planes, Doug.
Grace, we are so glad to have you here. Clearly, this would have gone nowhere.
My dad was in the Air Force. I should know
Oh, my God. Your dad?
You could have done so much research.
I mean, like, so, Dad, how gay is the military?
Do you get issued aviator glasses and the bomber jacket right off the bat?
Right.
How many times a day do you have to shower with other men?
Do they have air conditioning?
Oh my God! All right. So we're at this bar.
I like Goose's line in this. Goose has a funny line, I think, after Iceman is doing another little intimidating whatever in Maverick's face. Goose looks at Maverick and goes, "They were abused children."
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
It's a good insult, I guess.
just love.
Unless he really was abused, then that's just
I
kind of
know. That's right. It's like, wow.
Everybody drinks Budweiser too. I think Budweiser had a lot of product placement here.
Yeah, you think?
A little bit. What's the most American beer you could have? Budweiser.
That's just it.
So Maverick spots Kelly McGillis, the only woman at this bar.
How ironic.
Yeah, and he and the rest of the Navy surround her, which seems very intimidating. When they're singing "You've Lost That Love and Feeling," and it's just 80 men around her screaming this song.
There's a lot of singing that happens in this movie, like kind of a karaoke style, I guess. What would you call it? Just sort of, and I guess in the 80s, maybe that was something people did. Did you sing a little more?
No, that's not a thing.
No.
You can't just produce a microphone. I don't even know where they got that.
Yeah, but did you just for fun go up to someone and, just start singing. Like later on when they're playing the piano and they're having such a great time. Like even this, what a clever little way to pick up on a lady.
It's nice and it's clever and it makes it seem like they've used that
many times. Yeah. This is like old hat for them.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
And her response is, right? Isn't her response, does your mother not like you? Is that what she says to him?
Well, she tells him to sit down.
Yeah.
He is invited to sit down, and then his introduction, yes, my name is Maverick. Does your mother
that's his
like
name.
you?
That's his name.
Oh my God, you're a pilot. I'm like, oh, you're such a tool.
Yeah, I'm like, isn't this bar filled with pilots? Like,
yeah.
I'm sure she's been here more than once.
Nope, I'm the ground crew and I borrowed this uniform tonight.
Can we talk about how much the ground crew, how much fun they have when they're like doing splits and like dancing and pointing for planes to take off? It seems so unprofessional. So she and Maverick talk for a bit. He's hitting on her, but she leaves to go sit with an old man. Like, it's like, are we going to find out that that's her dad? Like, is that where this gag's going? But nope, it's just some older dude.
Well, she must be having a meeting with him, right? I guess we find out later who she is, and she's not on a date with him, is she?
No, I was under the impression that it was a work-related meeting.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All right, okay. Where's Top Gun? Is this in Florida?
It is in Miramar, California.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay, all right.
You two are going to Miramar. Do you remember that?
I remember that, yeah.
People were saying a lot of stuff in this movie.
Details were hazy. We were counting on you for those, Grace.
So Maverick then stalks her and follows her into a bathroom.
Into the ladies' room, yeah.
Uh-huh. The titular ladies' room.
The Top Gun of ladies' room.
Yeah, where he proceeds to kind of say that they are going to have sex. And that's what's... Go ahead.
I don't know that it's ever okay. Well, maybe because she was the only woman there, so he knew that he was going to find her and only her. Is it ever okay to just approach a woman in the ladies' room like that? Can I put my voice up any higher when I ask that question?
I'm going to say no.
Who do we need to worry about in the bathroom, seriously? Apparently we need to worry about these aviators just walking in any bathroom.
Right, exactly.
Have sex with women.
Exactly.
Yeah. What if she was taking a wicked dump or something?
Maybe he was just looking for the plaque with the second best on it. Maybe he was just looking for that plaque, and then he stumbled upon a lady and was like...
So we find out the very next day, she kind of shoots him down and
But I like she shoots him down, but then when she walks out, Goose is outside, and she like makes out to Goose like they did do it. She was like, "Your friend was good," or something like that. And Goose is like, "Hubba, hubba, hubba."
Anthony Edwards, my God.
He's kind of pervy in this scene, though. It bothers me later when I find out he's married with a kid because he walks in and says, "This is a target-rich environment." Dude, you're married. So are you telling us you're just going to cheat on your wife?
And you're married to the adorable Meg Ryan, who I want to be her BFF in this movie. She's so fun.
She's so insane.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, this is the time in the movie where Maverick turns around and says something about him being married, right? Shouldn't that happen? Like, it's really weird because there's no allusion to him being married for quite a while in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day, we find out that Kelly McGillis, first of all, her name is Charlie, a man's name, and she is in charge of letting them know about enemy aircraft. What is her job, Grace? Can you help me here?
She's like an independent consultant for the Navy.
Okay, because her introduction is really funny because, again, the guy who lets everybody know, like, introduces Tom Skerritt and everybody, he's the bad guy from Scanners. I forget.
Oh, yeah.
I love him.
So
Michael Ironside?
Yeah, Michael Ironside, yes. So he lets them know, he's like, who's the best at identifying enemy airplanes? Civilians, which doesn't sound right at all. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
So I was like, wait, is she just like somebody who happened to see a MiG one day? And they're like, hey, do you want a job here? Not for a while did I understand that she kind of worked for the government.
Well, she says in there that she's privy to top secret information.
Yes. She's a civilian contractor, and I guess as a civilian
like
contractor,
Blackwater,
you could be contracting with the other side, and you're choosing to work and give information to the United States.
So she could be a turncoat? Are you saying
if she
could
wanted
have
to?
worked?
Like, her company is free agent. She could work for anybody.
All right, I love it. And all these dudes are disrespectful assholes to her.
They are.
I hated Maverick for 80% of this movie. Like, he is such a creep. Like, after assaulting, and that's a harsh word, her in the bathroom.
Yeah, yeah.
Now he just kind of makes fun of her and calls her out in this meeting where she's his teacher / boss.
Yeah,
It's very terrible because all the guys laugh at her. One guy's wearing a cowboy hat, which I thought was
I thought
funny.
that was random.
Well, his name is Tex.
Oh,
That's
God.
Tex.
Oh,
So of course he has a cowboy hat on.
that makes sense then. See, I didn't pick up all of their names. I only picked up some of the key ones. I didn't know all of them. But this is where they talk about this inversion thing, right?
Yeah.
The inversion.
Yep.
And they have the we not me conversation where when Maverick and Goose do kind of brag about what they did, they're very obnoxious about it.
Yeah. Well, Goose is an idiot. Like, because at one point, Iceman makes fun of, that Maverick even did this. And Goose is like, no, man, he really did it. It was like really cool. Like, you just sound like an asshole.
I've got a picture of it.
Nobody likes you, Goose. I'm sorry.
You're calling out the instructor. You're bragging. Oh, and by the way, this is how Cougar isn't sitting here right now, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, and when did they make a mention to that? Is it at the bar or in the earlier scene when Iceman does say,
Yes.
like, he makes a mention to, like, and what about Cougar? And
Cougar, he's a good man.
Yeah.
He was a good man.
Right. Yeah.
We were like brothers in flight school.
Yeah. And I like, even they say, what do you say he was? He is a good man.
He was, yeah, he still is a good man. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what I meant.
Right.
I'm just Iceman. So they start flying around. I don't know if we need to get into a whole lot of details as far as when they fly. A lot of their flight, quote-unquote, battles were kind of the same. Well, unless people were dying.
This, I think maybe if you... See, I saw it that way, too. Like, they were just doing that fancy flippity-flop flying again by the mountain.
Flippity-flop flying.
They were turning and burning, right? And... But I like this. Is this when they go? So they're doing their fancy flying, and this is when he does the thing where he buzzes through the tower or right past the tower.
Because he shot down. Who was it?
It was Michael
Slider.
Ironside.
Yeah, no, not Slider.
Scarrett? No.
No,
yeah.
Viper. No,
Viper.
Jester.
Jester. Yeah, he gets
yes.
Jester. Yeah.
Yes. And after they do that, he celebrates by buzzing the tower, which basically means making some poor dude spill coffee on himself.
You just got here yesterday.
Exactly. You just got here.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we're treated to... I love this because then we're inside. And the guy who spilled coffee on himself, again, runs into somebody else's tray of coffee and it spills. He's yelling, screaming. You know he was talking to Tom Skerritt. And he yells as he walks away, I want some butts. Great line.
I think it's another homosexual reference.
Yeah.
Clearly, because that doesn't make any sense.
Tom Skerritt kind of... And again, it's like you said, where he's like... That was awesome, but that was bad news. You have to follow the rules, and we do this for a reason, and,
right. And again, like you said, Grace, how did they not think they were going to get in trouble? Like,
that's like a 9th grader on the second day of school just throwing a cherry bomb in the toilet. You're in 9th grade. You just got here.
And you don't have a year. We find out that Top Gun school is 8 weeks long.
Yeah, it's very short. Yeah. It's very short. But you notice, like, whenever he does, because there's another something that he does later on in the movie when he kind of does another Maverick move where he does something flashy and then kind of regrets it because he gets in trouble for it. It's like you can tell he mentioned something about how, like, he doesn't realize in the moment that he's doing that. Like, he's just being a shit because being a shit is just what comes naturally to him. And doing all this kind of stuff is just, it's innately in him to just say, I'm just going to be crazy. So I don't think he thinks about the consequence till the consequence happens.
Right. And he tells Goose, you're my family. I'm not going to let you down. But you keep doing it, asshole.
Boy, do you let him down. Boy, do you let him down.
You keep letting him down. Yeah. You keep repeating the same mistakes.
Just like his dad probably did, for all we know. Right?
And it shouldn't take the death of your best friend for you to realize that you've been a terrible pilot and a terrible friend. And he doesn't even realize it then. He has to find out that his dad was a war hero before he turns his life around.
Right.
Goose's death means nothing.
But Jester and Viper are talking about it. Like, they talk about his dad, they make reference to him, and it's like, would you want him flying with you? I just don't know. His dad must have been a hot shot. Who knows? I don't know.
They have to obey or their history, basically.
Right.
That's what Scare
basically
tells them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so that's when Goose talks to Maverick about how they're flying so kind of crazy, right? And Goose is kind of nervous about that, right? They have a heart-to-heart here.
A lot of tender moments together.
And Goose,
this is one.
Yeah. Goose is nervous about the way Maverick is flying like we're going against a ghost, I think is how he puts it. And you're right, Grace, Maverick tells him he's like family and they'll never let him down. And we see these two romancing it up.
In a sweaty hotel room.
Yeah, do they live in like a barracks or something, or is this a hotel room? I didn't understand where they lived. I kept trying to
maybe
get
it is barracks.
an idea.
I don't know.
Yeah,
they were sweaty again.
They
no
were
air
very
conditioning
sweaty. Yeah.
again.
So we're back in class. Kelly McGillis is teaching a different class in a different room. The one they were in the hangar. Now they're in a classroom taking a written exam, I guess.
Another giant fan.
Another giant fan. Tom Cruise being very inappropriate with your teacher again. Hitting on her.
How old do you think she is? How old is Charlie? I'm assuming at the time these guys are maybe 25, 26 years old.
Oh, I was thinking a bit younger. I was thinking
okay,
early
but
20s.
young enough.
Yeah.
How old is Charlie?
I'd say she's in her early 30s, probably.
Charlie's a slut.
Oh.
I think she is. You're telling me you don't bang your students? I think you do. I think every 8 weeks you have a favorite.
And this one, well, she does slip him the note, right?
She does.
Yep. Yep. She's got her address written down on this note.
Don't
you're
be
right,
late,
Grace. I mean, how has she not done this in the
past?
past?
This was 1980s sexting. Passing a note.
That's right.
You're right. You're correct.
Did she draw a naked picture of herself on the note?
Just little round boobies.
That's right.
She's like, get some.
Yeah. And then who's the guy who wears the headphones all the time?
Slider? Is that Slider?
I don't know.
The guy
Grace?
that wears the headphones.
Yeah, the guy.
The flight crew?
No. The guy. No. He just has those little he's in the front of the class here. He's playing with the toy jet.
That's Slider, I think.
Is that
Slider?
Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. But he's playing with the toy jet,
which is very random. Like, what is he doing with the toy jet? What are they doing? We know you fly a plane. You don't have to play with the little plane to let us know that you fly it. It's all good.
Now I know we've been waiting for this scene. So let's just jump right into a scene that, in my mind, remembering this as a 12-year-old boy, I was probably about 12 when I saw this. First of all, I didn't know Tony Scott was trying to make me gay when he made this movie.
God bless his soul.
I'm amazed that I am a heterosexual male, I think, now.
Oh, wait, we didn't say what was on the note.
Oh.
She wrote down her address and dinner 5:30.
Sharp.
Yes, that is very important to the volleyball scene.
Oh, that's correct. You're right.
It is, but she really doesn't give a shit.
No. She's like, I was just sipping my wine and waiting.
Yeah,
that's right.
He does hustle off, yeah.
But we are treated to the volleyball scene. So anybody can talk about this. I mean, I could talk about it clearly, but if anyone wants to take the reins here, go ahead.
Grace, come on, saddle up.
Okay, Slider just poses in that Men's Health flexing pose, and they're getting sandy and dirty.
They're so sweaty because it's a hot day always, right?
Maverick is the only one wearing jeans, though.
Why is he wearing jeans? I
mean,
noticed that. I was like, that must be the most uncomfortable
sweats
thing
that
to
roll
do.
up so you don't dig your knees into the sand because that would hurt.
Right.
But you're wearing jeans.
Yeah.
And no shirt. So if you dive, it's going to hurt anyway.
It just looked so strange that he was wearing jeans because I kind of had to. I kind of had to rewind the volleyball scene just to let you guys know.
Does your wife know this?
Only to just make sure he was wearing jeans.
Douglas. And how tight the jeans were. Jeans.
And why is Goose wearing a shirt? I don't mean to say that he should have been shirtless too, but he's the only guy wearing a shirt. Is that just to...
He's a dad bod. He has a dad bod.
Right, there you go.
I guess. I mean, we see him later with a towel around him. He doesn't look bad. He looks better than I do.
Well, you've never played volleyball. Maybe you haven't played volleyball.
I don't know.
Only in gym class.
Maybe he's self-conscious and has body issues around these three strapping, cut, sweaty.
Well, maybe it was all the people standing around watching these guys play volleyball.
Did this scene just come out of nowhere? Like, what was the need? When did they all just be like... I mean, I guess because they're in California that the volleyball thing seems like... But you just don't see... They all hate each other. Why are we playing volleyball together?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. What are we doing, guys?
Let's go play some beach volleyball.
Right, yeah. I do love how they call him Mother Goose, though. They call him that several times.
Mother Goose, you pussy.
Yeah.
Is the best line of the scene.
And this scene does not last as long as I thought it did. Like, in my mind, this was half of the movie.
To me, it did take... I was like, what are we doing here with the volleyball? It was like a slow motion, like when they show, like, girls running on a beach just to show you some girls in a bikini. This was like just men just playing their volleyball. Like, what are we doing?
And we're treated to another Kenny Loggins song.
Yep.
Oh.
Playing with the Boys. The soundtrack has a dance version.
Oh. Dancing to that. Dance version. A dance version of a Kenny Loggins song. I love that.
Yeah.
Because those words should not go together.
They shouldn't, but they do somehow.
For Top Gun, they do. That's right. Oh. This volleyball game, I guess, does end too soon for you because he has to leave to actually go to his date. And maybe that's why he had his jeans on. Because he had a place to be with a lady, and he wanted to insist on showering when he was there, so maybe she would...
And maybe he should have appropriated his time a little better.
Yeah.
That is an aggressive move.
Right? Yeah, how do you show up at somebody's house?
A date and to say, I gotta take a shower.
And she just shuts him down, and I love it.
I do, too. I like it when she's like, wait a minute, no, I'm hungry, is what she tells him. Like, because, you were supposed to be here, I'm waiting for you, and now you have to take a freaking shower? No, boss.
I don't know you. I barely want you using my bathroom. You want to use the shower?
That's
right. Hold on, then. Because later, when he leaves to take a shower, she seems really bummed that he left.
Because she wants to bang.
Well, that's later, right. That's later once you're little...
She's regretting then not letting him use the shower.
Absolutely. She's like,
up.
Damn it. But she can't just make love on an empty stomach. She needed to eat before she got her little excited.
He needs a shower. But you know what I noticed the best about this scene is when she's laying in that veranda, wherever they are, she has this 40s starlet look about her with her hair.
Oh, yeah.
And that wave and the makeup is just porcelain.
Yeah.
It was stunning.
It was.
Stunning.
She looks great.
Why does she has like a parrot and a dog and she has like a lot of pets. For someone that
she moves around a lot.
Yeah, later on she just picks up and goes. And I'm like, what about all your animals? Did they come with the place? I could not
take my eyes off that parrot during that scene. It was right over her shoulder, and the whole time I don't even think I paid attention to what they were talking about. I do like when he yells at her. He's like, "You forgot the wine." It's sitting there open. Like you're so upset that she didn't pour it in your glass for you.
She didn't give him a shower either when he arrived. Well, so. He's a pretty demanding guest, if you ask me.
Those are two very different things.
He's a punk.
Yeah. It's a great...
He's that arrogant guy that you just love, and you know he's going to hurt you, but he's attractive and he's confident. You're like, he's going to screw me over, but I don't care. I'm going to take this ride. And he's Mav.
Try him out. He's the Mav. He's Mav.
But also from her perspective, like, I don't know, she's got a new group of guys coming in 8 weeks. So what does it even matter? Like, I don't... he's not... in charge. I can see it from her perspective as well. So.
Well, their love is being ignited, right?
In an elevator?
This is where the Take My Breath Away song comes in, right?
The sexual tension is building.
Oh, and then it's like...
there's a spark.
They tease that these two are going to have sex, and every time Take My Breath Away swells. Just the instrumental comes up, And then that other dude gets in the elevator, and it drops back down. Then he gets out of the elevator, it comes back up. And I was like, when are they going to play the song? And that happens in about 3 different scenes.
Well, originally there was no love scene.
Oh, no?
There was none. And audiences did not like that, so they threw a love scene in there. Which is why at the time they decided it, her hair was dyed, and they had to blue tint the love scene.
That makes it even more the gay.
Right, exactly. Like, that's not the director's intent. The director's intent is just a man-on-man action.
Yeah.
And
need something for the ladies. We need to see Tom Cruise's tongue kissing her a lot. Every movie, I think it's in his contract.
That really...
That his tongue shows.
That making out was not making out, right? I mean, it was pretty hard. It was hard to watch sometimes.
He was eating her face.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't think the sex scene was that hard to watch, but there's a scene later where they're sitting on his motorcycle.
Well, you mean the volleyball scene wasn't that hard to watch? We're
no,
talking about
that
the
was
sex
that
scene.
was
No,
easy. That was easy to take in. But there's a scene later where they're sitting on his motorcycle and they're kissing, but it's like fish kissing, like it's just like open mouth, opening and closing, and just kind of almost touching, and it just offline.
It's disturbing.
It's very disturbing.
Yeah,
it's the only response to "Take Me to Bed or Lose Me Forever" is the fish kiss.
That's right.
That's right.
All right, so this is when, Jamie, if you want to talk about Meg Ryan, you can, because finally Meg Ryan, in all her
I was
southern,
so excited to see her.
She's southern?
No.
She seems like she should be.
She's excitable.
A southern little Spitfire.
Yeah, she's a Spitfire. We'll give her that. She's Goose's wife, and I mean, to me, Goose was just the funny, fun sidekick. I know that they were arrogant and jerks, but I enjoyed him because he was, goofy Goose. And so when she came out as his wife, I was like, yay! And she was a big old knucklehead. They have a kid. I don't know how she raises it because she's just crazy.
And they look like they belong together.
Oh, yeah. They were just the fun-loving little family,
They've probably been dating since they were 14 years old.
Oh, yeah.
High school sweethearts, small town Nebraska or something, and that's it.
Yeah.
But there is a great line by Meg Ryan when they're walking out of the airport, I guess, and she says to Maverick, "So, Goose tells me you're in love with one of your instructors."
Oh, yeah.
And I am assuming that she thinks it's a guy. Like...
Oh my God, yes.
Yes, of course.
Which one? Oh, you mean the woman? Oh, yeah, her too.
Yeah.
Not Tom Skerritt, because I totally get it.
You're into older dudes. I know it. I love it. Because you got that daddy issue.
Is this after the other classroom scene where Kelly McGillis calls out Tom Cruise?
Oh, that was before.
Oh, was that before? Okay.
With the terrible computerized images?
Yes.
They are so, like, old school 80s, the images of the
yeah, and again,
aircrafts.
Another terrible part is when she goes to talk to him, and he just revs his motorcycle like a big baby, and then just, I can't hear you, and then just drives away.
Well, I would be upset, too. I mean, really, last night you want to bang me, and today you're insulting my flying technique?
Right.
So if we're in bed, is she going to insult him on his technique?
Oh.
So that's where you see this go.
He's sensitive.
I mean, I'm not a man, but I think a man would probably think that way and throw a tantrum. And
Especially
then she can't
this
let
kind of
anybody
man.
know that she fell for him.
Well,
you had one date. You've known him like a week. I mean, you fell for him.
That's what I was like. How did you fall for this guy? Why? Because he can fly a plane really good? Really? You don't even
Everybody
know?
She's ever taught can fly a plane really good.
Yeah, right?
That's how they got there.
That's how everyone there. Right, exactly.
Oh, and then they did have sex, and then they finally have sex because they do.
Because she just fell for him.
Because some terrible focus group said that you needed this.
And then
they stop in the middle of the street, they start making out, and then they go back to her place.
Yeah, they start arguing, and she is like, I had to do that in class so that nobody would get suspicious. So now she's compromising herself as a teacher to try I don't know.
You're going to lose your contract as a civilian.
I'm sure she got fired at the end. She's not just leaving. She probably got canned.
I think so.
Right.
Because I don't think that Maverick is the kind of guy that could shut his mouth. And if Goose knows, Goose told Wolfman. Wolfman told Tex.
Goose wife?
They got back to Slider.
What the hell is with Wolfman? Is he her spy? Later on, he calls her.
Is that who he was on the phone with? Because that's one of my questions.
Gotta be her. It's gotta be
him
her.
on the side.
Maybe, but maybe he has access to the showers. He gets to check out the guys. He can report back to her as to which one to target.
Yeah. He's like her inside kind of guy.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering who is he even calling to say, yeah, Maverick quit? Who are you on the phone with?
I assumed it was her because right after that scene, we see her walking into that bar. So that's yeah.
But I thought it was kind of random.
Right. Oh,
you couldn't do this from your room.
Yeah.
In the shower as soon as he's walking out.
So after they have sex, he leaves her a paper airplane note. By the way, his paper airplane looks like shit. I can make a better paper airplane.
I agree.
And I don't know what it says. I don't think we see what it says. It must just be adorable.
It's just a sweet note. And a flower. Doesn't he leave her a little flower on her pillow or something?
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Mm-hmm. Now we feel the need for speed, right? Isn't that what comes next?
Do.
Another training. The training is half over, right?
Another hop to take.
They're fighting against Tom Skerritt this time.
Yes. And they're going around the mountains again.
Yeah, Tom Skerritt and Ironside against whoever.
Viper, right? Viper?
Maverick.
Tom Skerritt is Viper.
Oh, God.
Well, who's Hollywood? Because this is the first time I've heard the name Hollywood, but it's yelled 45 times in the scene. So Maverick and Goose are teamed up with Hollywood and whoever his...
Viper is with Hollywood, I thought.
Viper wouldn't...
He was by himself.
Viper would go with... I think Viper goes with Jester.
Viper and Jester. They're two teachers.
They have to, because they're the instructors, and they're like...
gotcha. Okay.
Right. So it's a 2-on-2 sort of thing.
Right.
And, of course, Maverick gets it in his head that he has to beat his teacher. So he leaves his wingman, Hollywood, and they're both, quote-unquote, fake shot down. I don't know why I said quote-unquote. They're fake shot down. They lose. And suddenly, more shirtless guys. The movie can't go 15 minutes without having to show us Val Kilmer's abs.
We're back in the locker room, right? And Maverick is kind of finally admitting a little bit, right? That he's a little stupid?
Kind of, because Goose seems a little upset that they're losing ground or losing points in this battle. Because we find out before this that Maverick is just below Iceman in number of points.
They're head-to-head. They're right there.
Right, yes. But they lost this. But they hear right before this that Iceman won that day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
More showboating with Maverick. He caused it.
Oh,
and again, I'm sorry, Goose. I'll never do it again. You know what, asshole? I'm done with you.
He doesn't ever leave him, though. And then he doesn't ever really give him...
I think he's in an abusive relationship and doesn't know what to do.
Right. Or he realizes that Maverick is his ticket to
getting kicked out of Top Gun?
No. I mean, what do they hope to achieve from this? Like, what does the guy in the back seat get? If they're the best of the best pilot can come back to Top Gun to teach. Well, what does the guy in the back get? Anything?
Apparently killed over the Indian Ocean. I don't know.
Yeah. Apparently death. That's the thing. You support the guy till death do us part. It's like a marriage.
Then on the flip side of that, if you get kicked out, what do you get? Nothing.
Well, that's Goose's whole point. Is like, I didn't come this far to just get kicked out. And these antics have got to stop.
He's going to go to truck driver school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was funny. But I don't know. I don't think they get nothing, right? Don't they just go back into the normal Air Force? Like, I assume
so
they're
knocked down to the minor leagues.
Right, exactly. I assume they can still be career military guys, and they can fly planes, and they can do what they were doing beforehand.
But not if you get kicked out.
But they'll be flying a cargo ship full of rubber dog
That's
shit
right.
That's right.
That
was a good line.
That was I guess that's really something that can happen.
Like, I love how they talk about, they're like, oh, Iceman, because that's how he flies. He's cool as ice. Like, I would love that for everybody. Like, why is Goose called Goose? That's a terrible name. It is awful.
Because he likes his
Do you know what his real name is?
Anthony Edwards.
No, in the movie, smartass.
I have no idea who anybody's real name is.
No, what is his real name?
He's the one person they never actually say what his name is. His name is Nick Bradshaw.
That's a cool name, and you got Goose.
Bradshaw's even kind of a cool, like, Bradshaw, come here. Bradshaw.
You see it on the side of a plane and on a patch after he dies, and it's kind of covered up. It's Nick Bradshaw.
And Nick, even Nick.
Nick,
come on. Wait, what is Maverick's name? What's Maverick's real name?
Pete Mitchell.
Pete Mitchell. There you go.
Pete Mitchell,
That sounds like the most generic name for a little boy. I don't know. Like one of the Beeves' friends or something like that.
Well, his name originally was going to be Evan Mitchell. And they changed it to Pete because there is a consultant on the movie named Pete Pettigrew who flew in Vietnam. Who is actually, wait, I'm going further with this. That is actually the guy that Kelly McGillis was meeting in the bar.
Oh, the old man.
The old guy is this Pete Pettigrew who consulted on the film, yes.
Love it.
Yes.
See, Grace DeMarco with your fun facts? Awesome sauce.
I try.
Did you, I mean, are you like Charlie in this movie where you're just privy to all of this top secret information about Top Gun?
I Google a lot, and I'm that person that will just look up and just be like, I wonder why, how, and then I find the answer for something that nobody else in the world cares about but me.
And yet you don't know why it was Animal Night.
No, I don't. 3 people in this movie went on to star in ER, though, which is one of my favorite TV shows of my entire life. Just knowing that is exciting for me.
Who are the other 2? I think we all know Anthony Edwards, but...
Rick Rossovich.
Who's he? Should I know who he is? Why are you laughing at me, Jamie? Do you know who Rick Rossovich is?
Hold on.
No.
All right.
How do you not know who Rick Rossovich is? Slider.
I never watched Top Gun before. What do you think? I don't know.
Slider and Jester also starred in ER.
I was like, did Tom Skerritt star in ER? Because that would be awesome.
No, that's called Picket Fences.
Oh.
You're thinking Picket Fence. Basically the same show. All right, okay. So let's talk about... so before Goose is killed, spoiler alert, everybody, Goose is killed. Whoa. We have to see what a great family man he is.
Oh, so fun. Yes.
By him playing a piano in a restaurant with his son sitting on it. Mm-hmm. And how annoying is that for everybody else in that restaurant?
The 3 guys drinking Budweiser.
I kept looking at the people seated directly behind them thinking, I would leave. I would not be able to handle this.
But see, is that something that then you're just like, wow, look at them having their fun? Because it is. Everybody joins in then. Meg Ryan joins in and Charlie joins in. And they're all great balls of fire all together. Like, it looks so fun. It looks like the way that you want to kind of enjoy
and they just kind of sing the chorus to the song over
and over.
They do.
Okay, yeah.
And then they humanize Goose, and now he has a family.
Right.
And a wife, and a son. And it's like, oh, shit, bad things are happening.
Meg Ryan kind of buddies up a little bit there with Charlie and is like, oh, yeah, I could tell you right now that he's in love. He loves you, that Maverick, right?
But Meg Ryan's line is so great when she says it, though.
Mm-hmm.
There are hearts breaking wide open all over the world
tonight.
Like, how? Like, only she can say that.
And like that, yeah. First I was like, I don't follow you, Meg. Meg's not her name in it. What is her name in it?
Carol. Her name is Carol.
Oh, that's not a good name either.
It is not.
Carol and Goose.
Carol Bradshaw. Carol and Goose Bradshaw.
Talking to Charlie. Making Charlie feel like one of the, like she's been... the missing piece to their little couple-dom, right?
The missing older lady.
Do you think this movie is what made Kelly McGillis gay?
I would be surprised because this movie didn't make me gay.
I don't want to blame the movie. I shouldn't say that. But
I mean, you could point a finger.
I mean, I don't think... It probably didn't help.
I can imply certain things.
Yeah, it's the implication of the homosexuality from all of the aggressive... counter homosexuality, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, this movie is not a feminist piece. Clearly,
Negative. Negative. No.
It's not? Really?
No.
They try to make her a powerful woman, and really she's not.
No.
No, because she's
You might be a civilian contractor, but you're not.
She's just verbally abused by these pilots.
Well, and I think Grace said it. She's a slut. She's a bit of a slut.
I think she's a slut.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jeez. There's no need to slut shame Kelly McGillis in this movie.
We did just get a little ugly there, Grace, but that's okay.
I'm just saying, I think it would be very difficult to be put in her position.
All right.
And not to just make a run at some of these dudes. Kelly McGillis, I got your back.
I think her situation, though, it's, the stakes are a little higher. You're talking about national security, pillow talk.
Yeah.
And these guys are punks. You don't know them from anybody.
I know. Stakes are high.
And
what are you doing?
Think they're going to keep their mouth shut and not say, oh, you know what? I banged that Charlie. Well, hey, my friend just did that like 9 weeks ago. Good for you.
Good for you, right? Although no, she doesn't get the new job. That's a new job to her at the end. That's right. It's not like she's rotating through. But because she comes in, well, okay.
I love this tangent, by the way. I think we could really talk about this for quite a while. Because I am interested. Because, you can compare this to things. I don't know. There aren't other girls around. Right? These are adults. I mean, they're not 18, 19-year-old kids.
I still think within her contract there was probably something about consorting with the pilots and the students. I mean, the day they graduate, if they graduate and they're done, but I think there's a conflict of interest if you are instructing them and doing all this and showing favoritism.
That's why she works so hard not to.
Okay.
Right.
We're not done yet with the competition, right? There's more.
Well, this is when there's more flying,
right.
And then this is when Goose is killed.
The Danger Zone song starts up again, right? Don't we hear that?
They feel the need for speed.
Uh-huh. Ice is in the way. Oh, ice is in the way. I wrote ice is the way. But
I blame Iceman for this completely. Iceman is the reason for Goose's death. He did not.
He didn't move in time.
He said fire or clear. You know what, Iceman? Fire or clear. Get out of the way.
And then he kept saying, 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds. 10 more seconds. 1 more minute. 5 more seconds. Like, just move it along, buddy.
And whose jet wash caused the plane to choke? I'm sorry, that was Iceman's.
Oh, you're right.
Because you didn't get out of the way.
That's right. Yeah, because you needed your time. But he never even takes the blame for it. Never even tries.
No, of course not. No. But I do like as they're ejecting, and they can't eject, like they can't reach the thing. Maverick literally says to Goose, hey, watch the canopy, as though he has any control over avoiding smashing his head on that thing as he's launched out.
Well, now this is crazy how they do go down, right? So they're doing another thing, and their Iceman won't get out of the way, and then the fuel gets into their airplane and starts to spin them, right? They start to kind of spin around like crazy.
Another sexual reference, he's holding on to the shift and he's like, I can't control. It totally looks like he's holding his penis.
Yeah, you're right.
When he's in the flat spin.
Yeah. And they are freaking out though. This is a total there's no we'll get it. They're like, no, we're going down. The eject is not working. They can't get out of the airplane, right? That's part of the problem.
I thought it did work.
Well, it eventually worked. One of them couldn't reach it.
I thought
How is that even possible?
I thought Goose couldn't reach it.
Well, think about the centrifugal forces is when you're being spun. You know how in that
That's
ride,
true. Yes,
like
you're
you're
right.
slammed up against the wall. So they're probably against one side of the plane, and he can't reach to the other side.
He's just disjointed and
disoriented, and
I'll take that.
Mm-hmm. So Goose is dead.
Oh my gosh!
Long story short,
actually,
his
no,
neck
Goose
is broken.
Well, okay, Goose is dead, and then for some reason, Tom Skerritt feels the need to tell him again in his tighty whities.
Wait, Goose dies because they land in the ocean, guys. We have to really take this in.
No, he died because he hit his head.
Yeah, he hit his head on the canopy.
But then they land in the ocean, and he's like this bloody body, and and Maverick is holding him, and he's like...
totally dead, dude.
Yes.
No, I know he's dead. And then the guys come and they land, and they're like, you gotta let him go. You gotta let him go, sir. When the water rescue guys come, you know?
Yeah, that's horrible. You mean the Coast Guard?
Yeah.
I think we've established that the water guys are called the Navy.
Then what is the Coast Guard? They're not the Navy? They're not the Air Force? But
Nope.
we got the Coast Guard.
They're like the guys on the side of the water, on the coast. Tom Cruise is on trial or something?
I think it's just formality.
Okay, just
that
like
when there is an accident, there's an investigation, and
Right.
just to close the book on again, giant fans. Again, giant fans.
More and
yeah. So he's deemed not guilty, I guess, of doing this, and
Right.
he's cleared of his charges. Yeah.
He's partnered up with Sundown, who is the guy who was in like. He was Chuck Norris's buddy on Walker, Texas Ranger.
Was
Oh,
he?
really? I did not know this.
I did not
I've
either.
never seen an episode, but I've seen the opening credits, and I had to look it up. And he's the same guy.
All I see is he's the token black guy of the movie.
He is
I
the
know.
token.
It's such a shame that there are no minorities and no women in this movie.
It's not about that.
But you know, Maverick takes Goose's dog tags, and I think, you know what, you like, shouldn't that go to his son? Why are you taking his dog tags?
And don't throw them in the goddamn
Well, yeah,
ocean
then
at
later
the
on
end
when
of
he
this
does it
In the
movie.
goddamn ocean yet. He did not do that
Well,
yet.
that's the thing. When he does, first when he got them at first, I thought, okay, because it'll help him get through the school. He'll have like the spirit of. But when he throws them in the ocean, I thought, did you think to ask his wife and kids if they want them? You're just tossing them in the ocean like you were his one and only. What?
Well,
Selfish.
Definitely.
I mean, I don't think it's unfair to call him his one and only.
No.
Oh, so this is where, because he really breaks down. Like, Tom Cruise then can't fly, he can't fight, he can't do anything right.
No.
He freaks out on his new partner, Sundown. And this is the part where he's really upset in the locker room. And we see Wolfman get on the phone and call a mystery person and say that Tom Cruise is quitting.
But if nobody's supposed to know about the relationship, how does Wolfman know enough to call her and say, hey, Maverick, quit?
Listen, Wolfman is part of Iceman's gay crew. And
is that the posse?
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Ice Wolf. And they all have to end in man.
And he's probably just friends with Kelly McGillis. They probably...
No.
She's his gal pal, let's say.
Okay. They're gal pals.
And they get together and they hang out. Why? Why would he call her then?
Because she's having sex with him, too.
Oh, saucy, Grace.
But then why does he want her to know anything about Maverick? Like, wouldn't it be better if he doesn't say a word?
I don't know, because isn't their entire relationship supposed to be secret anyway?
It is.
That's why I think they're gal pals. That's all I got. That's the only part of this movie where
they go shoe shopping.
Right. Where I kind of said, this
Sunglasses.
doesn't make any sense. So I kind of had to make up my own backstory here. So she meets him at a bar, basically just calls him a quitter. Like, that's their exchange. Yeah.
You didn't learn anything except for to quit, is what she tells him.
Yes.
Right? That's what you learned here at Top Gun School.
I'm going to shame you now.
Yeah. Maybe he
Can we just say there's nothing wrong with quitting? Like, if he wants to quit, just let him quit. Like, this is way too much for him.
What value is he to the country if he can't even engage?
Yeah.
But she's so stupid when she walks in. I'll have what he's having. Is it a hemlock? No, it's ice water.
Yeah, that's right. She tries to be all like, oh yeah, this is what, oh, never mind.
I know what that clear beverage is.
Yeah. He's having some down times. He's not going to drink it away. He's going to hydrate. Right?
There's no fans. There's no air conditioning. He needs to stay hydrated. Again, he's moist in this scene, too. He's very moist.
Oh, I get the giggles with that one.
So after this, I did think this scene was pretty funny. He shows up at Tom Skerritt's house.
Yeah.
And
Why
is
is
on
that?
a first name basis with his wife.
Yeah, the wife is like she knows him real well. Well, hey,
how you doing?
Maverick.
Yeah, she says everything, but I heard Goose died. How's that going for you?
But do you see how she eyes him up and down? She glares at him.
Oh, yeah.
When she walks away. I'm like, is she looking at him like that because Goose died? Or because she knows his father and is comparing? Like, why is she glaring at him?
Well, because then there is a picture of his... Isn't it, he finds a picture of his dad on
just
Skerritt's
hanging
wall?
up in Tom Skerritt's living room.
Information that may have been useful, I don't know, 7.5 weeks ago.
Right?
Hey, I knew your dad. You want to talk about him?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Maybe I can help you kind of overcome some of this stuff that you've got going on so you could be a better pilot and a little less of a maverick. Wait a minute.
Hey, your dad wasn't a shithead. Maybe you shouldn't be one. But basically, it is Tom Skerritt that gets Maverick to go back to the Top Gun graduation, which is weird. Why would you quit on the day of your graduation?
Right. Isn't there official paperwork you would have to fill out, something to sign? I mean, to leave college, to drop out of college, you have to do stuff. Like,
they'd be like, listen, dude, do you want to do this paperwork? Like, graduation's in 10 minutes. Like, just go to this basically pool party and go graduate.
Well, I think they're going a little easier on him because of the death of Goose. Like, I think if he had just decided to quit because they were hard on him and but because his guy, his right-hand man died and, they're like, well,
But it looks like graduation has already happened and they're celebrating. And it's like, have you seen Maverick? No. So if he didn't actually go to the graduation ceremony, did he graduate? Or he's just there partying?
Well, Tom Skerritt says you have enough points to graduate.
Yeah.
Which, I guess...
But he didn't show up at the ceremony. He just shows up at the party afterwards.
Right.
So just mail me my diploma.
Mail me my diploma.
Probably.
I'm out.
And how did they know he was going to show up?
What does it matter? Wait, what do you mean? How did they know?
Because his name is on an envelope to go fly on some conflict.
Oh, later on. Yeah.
You're
What
right.
if he didn't show up? Oh, wait, didn't you hear Maverick quit? So, just go grab two other random dudes.
Yeah, maybe write somebody's name on that envelope who isn't mentally unstable right now.
That too. And maybe somebody who didn't graduate, 15 minutes ago. I'd feel more secure in that.
That's
maybe
wild.
Maybe not the guy who was at the bottom of the class, because he's the only guy who killed someone in Top Gun ever, probably.
How about you call those guys up who graduated 8 weeks ago? I feel like they have at least 8 more
Yeah, at
weeks
least they
of
have
real
a
world
little bit
experience.
more, maybe.
It is so convenient that it's just like, hey, graduation, congrats, guys. We're going to send you on a serious mission right now.
This is what you've trained for, and it's the real shit this time.
You're just for support. Do not fire unless fired upon.
No, but this is real, so they can, right?
No, I think he says, Principal Strickland said, do not fire unless fired upon.
Oh.
I think.
No. He says that. Principal Strickland tells them that before they go up.
Okay. Well, this is 5 bogeys. This is bad news, right? It's bogey mania right now.
Well, Iceman also, before they leave, makes it very clear to Principal Strickland that he does not want Tom Cruise up there.
No.
Do you think it's okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that guy up there with me. Which
Val Kilmer, the voice of reason.
Yes, that is a reasonable request.
I know your concerns, Kazansky. Just get on it. His name's Kazansky.
It is a long name. Kazansky.
Icemansky.
Wait, we forgot to mention, but I guess it's not that big a deal. Before the graduation, there's a big old pity party that Maverick has for himself, where he goes and he just kind of drives around all sad. After he goes to Skerritt's house before the graduation, he's got to feel really bad for himself.
On his stupid motorcycle?
Yes.
Okay.
When he drives past Charlie's house and it's for rent, and he's just like, that's when he throws the dog.
Has been there though since the beginning of the movie because I went back and checked.
So do you think that was just a mistake?
Well, even before she accepted the job in Washington, there's a for rent sign there, like it's a weekly rental, on a vacation or something.
See,
on
then
the beach.
why all the animals? Why are they? All right, okay. Well, so we're back now at this.
Maybe that's why she was at Animal Night. Maybe she just thought it was some animal enthusiast convention.
She's like, I have animals. Is that what this is about?
I'm going to bring my parrot. I left him in the car.
I left him.
All right. So they fly around. I guess it's tense. I really didn't feel the tension. But they blow up all the Russian planes. Not all of them, because then the 2 remaining leave.
But it took him a while to engage. Again,
Right.
It took Maverick a while.
Yes.
But because he had the dog tags and he was able to communicate with Goose through the
Talk
dog
to me,
tags.
Goose.
Yeah. That helped him. Right? That gave him
And
the spirit.
Iceman is just cursing him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I've got bogeys on my ass, and you need to cover me.
5.
And you're just sitting there.
5 bogeys.
Yeah.
That's big time
That's
bogey.
a lot of bogeys.
That's big time bogey. That's what that is. What are bogeys? Why do they call them that?
They're bad guys.
Like,
I
why?
guess, yeah, they're the bad guys.
So even when it's the real deal,
5 random dudes.
no. But when they're practicing, I thought a bogey was like, oh, you shoot at the, you shoot a fakie, a bogey.
No.
But when it's the real
No.
deal, I thought they were like, you got to shoot down the enemy. Why do they call them the bogeys?
That's like a real term.
Right.
That's a real military. If I believe movies, that's a real military term.
All right.
What's a bogey in golf? Is that related somehow?
Oh yeah.
A bogey in golf is when it takes you one more shot than it should to get the ball in the hole. Yeah, if it's a par 3 and you hit it 4 times, that's a bogey.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so different reference altogether. They have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, you would think that the Navy, Air Force, and golf would go hand in hand, but they don't.
They really don't.
But in the end, Tom Cruise wins the day. He's great. He saves Iceman. It's amazing. They land. There's just hugs all around.
And then you see Tim Robbins' face.
Yeah. Just for a minute, like
They're like,
peeking
hey,
up
that's Tim
behind.
Robbins.
Yeah, he's just peeking out behind Tom Cruise's shoulder. He's like, boop. Or I think it's Iceman's shoulder that he's like, hey, I'm over here. Look at me. I'm happy. There's another coffee spill that happens when they land this plane, right? Isn't there another?
There is? What?
Because I wrote, why do they sip coffee when the planes come in? So...
When you know Maverick's out there, don't drink coffee.
Yeah,
How about
that's
that?
my deal.
Use a straw.
And when it's so damn hot, can you put some ice in that coffee? Can we make it an iced latte, maybe?
I did not notice
Put it
that,
in
Jamie.
a covered conveyance.
How about a lid?
Something with a lid.
How about a lid? Yep, I'm with you on that.
And who was he flying with? Was he flying with Merlin?
I thought so. I thought Merle.
Oh, he was flying with Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That would have
He
been
was.
great had we known that beforehand. Like, had they...
I'm sorry. I should have told you sooner.
I know. Well, I know. You really let us down, Grace.
Failure.
No, but it would have been really nice if beforehand he was like, hey, I remember you from the beginning of the movie or something like that. Like,
No, it was just like Maverick, you and Merlin on Ready 2.
Yeah.
And then when he flies the tower, when he buzzes the tower, Merlin's like, oh, something I should know about? Ha ha ha. Oh, an inside joke with you and Goose. I feel like such an idiot.
This is where he throws Goose's dog tags in the ocean right off the edge of the aircraft carrier.
So cavalier. Who does that?
I think Bradshaw Jr. would want those.
I would assume
Exactly. Yeah, you know that kid's coming to him in 10 years, and he's like, hey, I heard you have my dad's... I don't know why the kid's talking like that, but I heard you have my dad's dog tags. He's like, oh, boy.
No, they were taken in the investigation. Didn't I give them to your mom?
Pretty sure your mom's got him, kid.
She's such a
Go talk to
scatterbrain.
her.
She probably lost them. You know her.
She doesn't know where they are.
Principal Strickland then asks Maverick, it is really great how he says, hey, how does it feel? You're on the front page of every newspaper. Like, are you kidding me? There is no way.
I didn't even think we were supposed to know that this thing happened with all the bogeys and all that.
No.
I thought it was like, we just got to get them out of the air, and you guys are the best ones to do it. Go and get those bogeys out of the...
Yeah.
Like, who are the bogeys?
Exactly. And when was the last time that some absolutely nothing air incident in the middle of the Indian Ocean even made the news?
Was front page news, right.
In 1986, apparently.
Oh, It's so stupid. And Tom Cruise says that he wants to go be a teacher now at Top Gun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's time for him to impart his knowledge onto others.
And bang the incoming students.
That's how it's done, Grace. That's how it's done.
That's it.
I want to know what Iceman.
And what's on the front page of every newspaper? Maverick saves the day.
It's just a big picture of a smiling Tom Cruise, thumbs up.
With Tim Robbins behind him.
Like jumping, hoping to just get in the shot.
Hey, how about me?
All right, so Jamie, you want to take us to the very end scene, the last scene of this movie? And are you drinking moonshine out of
That's what we do here in Tennessee. That is what we do. I do not want to take us through our final scene. I believe that should be Grace DeMarco's
Grace
job.
DeMarco, take us through the final scene.
He's back in the shit bar, and he's wearing this leather bomber jacket. Even though he's sweating his ass off, he's got the leather jacket on all the time.
Yes, yeah.
And then you hear the Righteous Brothers. Mm-hmm. And he's looking around like, oh my God. Like, I don't know if he thinks Goose is going to appear, whatever. So he gets up and he looks, there's nobody there.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, Charlie appears.
She just says. Mm-hmm.
And then they kiss.
Yep. Not as much tongue on the last kiss, I don't think.
No, and then they fade to black, thank God, so you don't have to see any of that.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? Like, you took the job in Washington.
Yeah.
He's staying at Top Gun. So what are you going to do? What's the long-term plan here? You can't have a long-distance relationship if Charlie's a whore.
Maybe she's going to decide to give up her career for him.
I mean, in Washington, God only knows who she's going to meet.
Right? I know.
She could have had an affair with Reagan at this point. We don't know. She likes the older men as well.
There could have been a Kennedy in her life, right? Could there not
could
have been?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them running around.
She sticks around for Maverick. He was maybe a good lay. I don't know. I couldn't say for sure because he didn't look like it.
There was no evidence of that, but that doesn't mean...
Maybe she has a penis. Maybe that's the real secret.
Wait, was there a secret in this movie?
Maybe that's the Top Gun. I don't know.
That's so wrong. What do you think their pillow talk is like? Do you think she corrects his flying style?
Of course.
Or their sexual innuendo with...
What else are they going to talk about, really? He's got nothing else going on in his life but flying.
Dead parents and flying.
There you go. And they just listen to Otis Redding over and over again.
I heard you like this song.
And Berlin.
Tell me about your dead parents.
Take My Breath Away. Again.
Let's play Take My Breath Away for 30 seconds and then just fade it down.
Watching in slow motion as you turn around to say,
That's really good, Jamie.
That is so catchy.
So,
right? It gets
Grace,
in your head.
Grace, I think it's safe to assume that you would recommend this movie to
Of
people that have not seen it, right?
Of course she would.
Yes. Jamie, what would you say to people that had never seen this movie before?
I mean, I don't think it changed my life having seen it, but I enjoyed it.
Oh, Grace just left.
Well, it changed my life in 1986.
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing. Had I maybe seen it then, I would have had a different connection to it. Seeing it now, here's the other secret, guys. I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. I think that's why I never wanted to really watch the Top Gun. So, I enjoyed it and thought it was a good movie, but I don't need to see it ever again.
Okay.
Get out of my face, Top Gun. All right?
Jamie, do you want to hear something funny? Huh. That is almost to a word what I wrote.
Really?
I would recommend, first of all, if you have not seen Top Gun, watch Top Gun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Because it is way different than I remember it being from what I saw when I was like 12.
But I really Tony Scott, whose birthday was 2 days ago, actually may rest in peace because he died like a few years ago.
Yeah,
and
that was
Jerry
upsetting.
Bruckheimer, they were an unstoppable pair of movie-making genius. They really were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This movie, I mean, it's almost like a perfect template for what a blockbuster should be.
Yeah.
Just beat for beat following it. So, yeah, if you have not seen this movie, for whatever reason you listen to us talk about it all the time and have not seen it, go see it. You will not believe what you're watching. It's amazing. But I kind of felt the same way. I was like, wow, I haven't seen this since I was 12. I don't know if I need to watch it again. Like, I get it. It's really good. It's kind of funny, maybe in a way that it didn't mean to be. But no, I enjoyed it. I'd recommend it, definitely.
Do you have any other recommendations? Any of you? All of you?
I would recommend Hot Shots. There is no doubt in my mind that movie would probably still hold up and be as hilarious as it was.
Agreed.
When I saw it probably 15 years ago. It's so great. It's so wonderful. There are so many scenes.
Yeah,
when he takes Goose's dog tags and throws them in the ocean, I was instantly reminded of when Charlie Sheen says, I even have my father's eyes, and open a case up with 2 eyeballs in them and then throws them in the ocean.
So good. Well, I didn't think about Hot Shots.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think about that one.
Jamie, what would you recommend?
Big
Tom Cruise fan, you.
A few months back, my husband and I stumbled upon, he'd seen it, I had not, this wonderful little Disney movie from the 90s called The Rocketeer with Jennifer Connelly and Billy.
Clearly, I've seen it many times.
Yeah.
I saw the porn version of it in college.
The Cocketeer?
Goodness.
Yes, thank you, Patrick Hartz.
Oh, gosh.
It was so cheesy and horrible.
Oh. Don't ruin the innocence of the Rocketeer with the Cocketeer. No Alan Arkin in that?
Anyway, Jamie, do you want to talk about the Rocketeer?
Oh, now I have these weird glimpses of the Cocketeer. Did you have some thinking time, Grace?
I did, and I'm going to go with this is horrible. Okay, it's not 80s, but Navy SEALs.
Oh.
Because, we're going Air Force. This is Navy. You got Charlie Sheen in there, who turned down the role of Maverick.
Are you kidding me?
Oh.
Is that why he did Hot Shots?
I don't know. And Rick Rossovich is in this also.
Who the hell is Rick Rossovich?
I've seen 15 times throughout this.
Welcome to the Rick Rossovich podcast.
He's Jester.
He's not Jester. Michael Ironside is Jester.
Then he's Slider. He's the third guy that was in ER, okay?
I remember seeing previews for Navy SEALs and thinking, this looks like the greatest movie ever.
Oh.
And do you want to hear something?
No.
I've never seen it. I remember wanting to watch it so bad,
but it just didn't happen for you.
As like a 15-year-old, and just saying like, I gotta go see this movie the moment I turn like 18 and can, I guess, go see a rated R movie that's still out in the theater. I'm gonna go see this, and I've never seen it, so.
It's not an 80s movie, so it won't fit?
Oh.
No, it's a 90s movie.
Well, then you'll just have to watch it for your own leisure.
I was going to say, so I will never see it.
I'm sure it's probably on Netflix or
I'm sure it's just on YouTube.
TNT at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, that's where you'll find it.
Wow, I want to see this movie recast with Charlie Sheen now. Charlie Sheen, get on it. Have this remade.
Well, what else has he got to do, right? Besides sitting with the HIV. Or Charlie.
Drinking his tiger blood.
Oh, man, that was one of the best. That was one of the best, like, freakouts of a celebrity. Like, that's on par with when Britney Spears shaved her head and started, like, smashing a car with an umbrella or whatever.
2007 Britney was a lot of fun.
Oh, she was wonderful. Jamie, what do you keep looking around at? Are there ghosts?
I have my headphones on and I thought, oh yeah, my dog is like chewing a thing over there. And so I was like, what is, I didn't even realize she came up here. And so I'm like, what is that weird noise?
So, first of all, everybody, please remember, follow us on Twitter, we're at GTGMcast. And find us on Facebook. And rate us and review us on iTunes. We're also now on Google Play.
Hey.
I don't know what that means, but we're on there now.
We're on platforms, multiple platforms.
In 2 weeks, Jamie, we're going to talk about a little lady, I shouldn't call her a little lady, named Brigitte Nielsen.
Oh, yeah. She's very tall, actually.
And we are going to talk about her first film called Red Sonja. Don't know what it is. Don't know what it's about, but I can't wait to find out. So that'll be in 2 weeks, everybody. Grace, thank you again for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me. This was wonderful.
Grace, we will have to have you again, yes.
I would love to come back again.
You are a spark of knowledge that I truly enjoyed. And
I'm a bevy of useless information.
You are. You're bevy-licious, I want to say. You're no bogey. I won't shoot you down, and I'll never leave my wingman.
The opposite of a bogey is a bevy?
I believe so, yes. I believe so.
Great. All right, everybody. That's it. We will talk to you again in 2 weeks.
Ciao.
You are still dangerous. You can be my wingman anytime.